Die with Zero by Bill Perkins. Imagine reaching the final years of your life with millions in the bank and a quiet, unsettling realization. You worked tirelessly. You delayed vacations. You postponed adventures. You said, "Someday when I retire." And now that someday has arrived. Your health is fragile. Your energy is limited. And the experiences you once dreamed about no longer feel possible. This is the uncomfortable truth most people never confront. They optimize their lives for accumulating money, not for living. We are taught from an early age to save, to invest, to delay gratification, to prepare for the future. And preparation is wise. But somewhere along the way, preparation became postponement, security became hoarding, and life became something we plan for rather than something we experience. What if the goal isn't to die with as much money as possible? What if the real goal is to die with zero, having fully converted your money into meaningful experiences, memories, growth, and impact? The radical idea at the heart of this philosophy is simple but powerful. Money is not the end goal, it is a tool, and tools are meant to be used. Over the next few minutes, you will explore a new way of thinking about wealth, time, and life itself. A way that challenges conventional financial wisdom. A way that forces you to ask not just how much you're saving, but what you're living for. By the end, you may never look at your bank account the same way again. Money is for living, not just saving. Most financial advice centers around accumulation. Earn more, spend less, invest aggressively, retire comfortably. But this approach often ignores a fundamental truth. Your life has seasons. You are not the same person at 25 as you are at 55 or 85. Your energy, health, curiosity, and physical ability change dramatically over time. Experiences that are thrilling at one age may be impossible or undesirable at another. The central philosophy is that your money should be allocated across your life in a way that maximizes fulfillment, not just net worth. Money is simply stored life energy. You trade your time and effort for it. If you hoard it until the end of your life, you are effectively hoarding unused life energy. The goal, then, is not reckless spending, it is intelligent timing. The concept of memory dividends. One of the most transformative ideas is the concept of memory dividends. When you invest in an experience, a trip, a challenge, an adventure, you don't just get a single moment of pleasure, you get memories that pay dividends for decades. Think about a meaningful trip you once took. You relive it in conversations. You reflect on it in quiet moments. It shapes your identity. The return on that investment continues long after the event ends. Now compare that to money sitting untouched in an account. It grows numerically, but it produces no emotional return. The earlier you invest in experiences, the longer those memory dividends can compound. A backpacking trip at 25 may provide 60 years of reflection and storytelling. The same trip at 75 may be physically impossible. Time, not money, is the most limited resource. Therefore, experiences should be purchased at the optimal time when you can enjoy them fully and let their returns compound over your lifetime. Understanding life's time buckets. Life can be thought of as divided into time buckets. Each decade presents different capabilities and opportunities. Your 20s and 30s may offer physical strength, risk tolerance, and flexibility. Your 40s and 50s may provide higher income and deeper relationships. Your later years may offer wisdom but reduced physical capacity. The mistake most people make is postponing experiences until retirement, when they finally have money but may lack health or energy. Instead, the idea is to front-load certain experiences into the periods where they deliver the highest return. Climb the mountain when your knees are strong. Travel adventurously when your responsibilities are lighter. Take risks when failure is survivable. Money grows with compound interest, but so do regrets. The balance between saving and living. Of course, the philosophy does not promote irresponsibility. You must avoid running out of money too early, but the fear of scarcity often pushes people too far in the opposite direction. The question becomes, how much is enough? Many people continue saving aggressively long after they've secured financial independence. They work longer than necessary, not because they need the money, but because they're afraid to shift gears. A powerful mental shift is to think in terms of smoothing consumption over your lifetime. Instead of dramatically underspending when young and oversaving for old age, aim to enjoy your money consistently across life. If you die with millions unused, you effectively worked for years of life you never lived. Giving while alive. Another profound insight is about inheritance. Many parents intend to leave large sums to their children, but timing matters. Receiving money at 30 can dramatically change a person's life trajectory. Receiving the same money at 65 when one is already financially stable has far less impact. Giving earlier, when it can transform opportunities, reduce stress, or unlock potential, creates far greater value. We often delay generosity under the illusion of control, but true impact requires timing. The deeper message is this: optimize your resources not for maximum accumulation, but for maximum life impact, yours and others. Health as the ultimate constraint. No amount of money can buy back youth. Health is the silent variable in every financial plan. Experiences require physical and mental capacity. If you neglect your health while building wealth, you undermine the very purpose of that wealth. Money can often be earned later. Health, once lost, is far harder to recover. Therefore, investments in health, exercise, nutrition, preventative care are not expenses, they are enablers of future experience. Without health, even a fortune becomes unusable. The courage to stop. Perhaps the most difficult idea is knowing when to stop. Stop chasing incremental gains. Stop working solely for accumulation. Stop deferring joy indefinitely. There comes a point where additional savings provide diminishing returns, while additional experiences provide exponential emotional returns. But stopping requires clarity. It requires knowing what you value. It requires confronting mortality. When you accept that life is finite, your decisions become sharper. You stop asking, "How much can I accumulate?" and start asking, "How do I want to spend my remaining time?" And that question changes everything. Applying this philosophy begins with reframing your relationship with money. First, evaluate your current spending through the lens of life stages. Are there experiences you're postponing unnecessarily? Adventures that align with your current health and freedom? Conversations about inheritance you've been avoiding? Second, shift from pure accumulation goals to experience-based goals. Instead of saying, "I want to reach this net worth," ask, "What meaningful experiences do I want in the next 10 years?" Third, create a rough life timeline. Map out decades and consider what types of experiences belong in each one: travel, education, entrepreneurship, family time. Allocate resources intentionally. Fourth, give strategically. If you plan to help your children or loved ones financially, consider when the impact would be greatest, not merely when it is most convenient. Finally, protect your health as fiercely as your investments. Treat physical vitality as an asset that multiplies the value of every dollar you spend. When you begin thinking this way, money becomes fluid rather than static. It flows into experiences, relationships, and impact, and your life becomes richer, not just financially, but emotionally. 10 actionable takeaways. 1. Identify 3 experiences you've been postponing and schedule one within the next year. 2. Calculate a minimum viable retirement number to define how much is truly enough. 3. Create a decade-by-decade life plan outlining optimal experiences for each stage. 4. Allocate a specific annual budget exclusively from meaningful experiences. 5. Have a conversation with loved ones about giving earlier rather than later. 6. Track not only net worth, but also memory investments each year. 7. Increase health investment through consistent exercise and preventative care. 8. Evaluate whether additional work years meaningfully improve your life satisfaction. 9. Shift one financial goal from accumulation to experience creation. 10. Reflect quarterly on whether your money is serving your life or your life is serving your money. One day, your time will run out. Not your money, your time. When that day comes, the number in your account will not comfort you. The promotions will not replay in your mind. What will remain are the experiences you lived, the risks you took, the relationships you nurtured, and the memories that shaped your identity. Money is renewable. Time is not. The question is not whether you will die with zero. Eventually, everyone does. The question is whether you will convert your resources into a life fully lived before that moment arrives. So ask yourself now, if your life were divided into seasons, are you living appropriately for the season you're in? Your wealth is not your bank balance. It is the richness of your experiences. Spend wisely, live deliberately, and make sure that when the end comes, there is nothing left to regret and nothing left unused.